Ahoy, Captain. Truth be told, Ferrante half expect us to get our asses blown out of the water at Fort Deadlight. Fortunately for you, I have this bad habit of beating the odds. Of course, I do that by way of good old traditional chicanery. And the most important part of it... Valian made a... Captain Aldee's claim. A couple of them thought he might be... They say she ain't had a deserter since. Funny thing about it, fort itself. One blast of their horns and Deadlight's locked up tight. Yeah, she's sharpish. Part of that's her fierce support of freedom. The rest, elite. Can't say I much approve of a lack of regard for our traditions. The Principe. A lot of them... Many of the old guard have died off, though. And the new... I did. Contact would be... Might have, regardless of how she feels about me, there's no love lost between... Ugh, random? What do you take me for, Captain? Forgotten, sir. Oh, you be asking, but since you asked, vast. Way I see it, we have an option or two ranging from the wildly dangerous to the fantastically suicidal. So tell you me, smart play for crashing any party involves scavenging yourself. Aye, Captain, from stem looking the part in this case. Don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric can be if the wrong person... I'm all ears, Captain. Later.
Ship life sure is an adventure, ain't it? Just think of... Tell me what's on your mind. They're there in my... And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. Will we? I trust you, Watcher. I swear I do. It's not like I can turn my back on my duty to my god. We talking during the same... No need to fiddle-foot around. I'm glad we talked.
I wish you'd maintained my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative. Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity. At your suggestion, I took up Theos's mantle after we parted company. I wanted to use the Leaden Key to improve the lives of... So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret. Hoping they can be reformed. Theos had many lifetimes in which to build up the Leaden Key. I'm beginning to appreciate that advantage. The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours. I know. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of changing the Leaden Key would be tracking down its members and... Perhaps this would be easier with an... I went to a village in Old... Aye, right home like it was. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was... At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt. I don't blame the villagers. But it's our duty. I thought new leadership might guide them away, so I adjusted some of the deeds pertaining to the ownership of their land. It just so happened that a nearby Comtessa, a rather prosperous one, had a claim on the village, and the fertile fields around it. The Comtessa annexed the village, as I'd planned. But she did nothing, and while it continued, she taxed the villagers to pay for the plantation she was building, and conscripted half of them to defend it. I had to do something, didn't I? I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better. I suppose I should get some rest. It's been a long day. Ah, that. I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise...
Hey, this brings back some memories, huh? The air's different. Sounds different, too. If the birds woke you... Strange thing is, I still get this feeling in me, like... I want the destruction, only I don't see it playing out that way.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000 bells ringing all at once. You are alone. And then, you are not. An indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Bareth, the Usher and the Pallid Knight, shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Bareth settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher.
Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
The Pallid Knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the Beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains. The figure nearest Bareth dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone, whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Woedica strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Bareth? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Woedica's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face, where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Woedica, with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Woedica steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul.
She casts a sly look at the Pallid Knight from the corners of her eyes.
A moon would do the job nicely. As if you could stop me.
The figure beside the aspect of Bareth flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword. Magran's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do-nothing, nor destroy the world. I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the beyond? He should be welcomed.
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide. Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys' return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wetica suggests, and crush him.
Scan pauses.
Ah, and here is the Watcher who delivered poor tormented Alice back into the clutches of her uncle, Lord Harrend. Curious.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
Your point is well made, little Watcher. If self-evident, Aethys has not been known to possess a vindictive nature. Indeed, he has occasionally been magnanimous to a fault. However, if we push him to the brink of reason, there is no telling what he may do. He is, as ever, unpredictable.
Something akin to fondness creeps into her voice. The Pallid Knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Magran grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Magran stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
The Pallid Knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Magran's direction.
Magran speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Wotica waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys other than decisive, final action.
We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the Pallid Knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet. You are pulled toward her, one compulsory. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin. Alone.
Good stuff, guys. Good writing, yeah. Oh, man. How is everybody? It's been a good day. Good if sleepy. I've got it. Okay. Off to Nakataka. Off to Nakataka. Oh, nom, nummy. Oh, nummy. Sorry, guys. Being silly boy. Uh-oh. Summer Game Fest begins tomorrow morning.
Aye.
Yeah? I'll light the darkness.
Let's go. Ahoy. Tomb.
Hey.
Leave it to me.
What can I do you for? Lavru, be on seek!
Captain. They're not my thing, savvy?
Hey. Yeah. Got it. How may I help?
Lavaru beyond seek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What for, Cap?
What do you need?
Parathus!
What for, Cap?
Hey, we had some good times.
I shall deal with this one.
Take him down.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need?
Hey,
Yeah?
we had some good times.
Ahoy.
Hey, watch it with that.
I shall deal with this one.
Nuts. Bad.
Hmm? Yeah.
I bring your end.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad. Oh, guys. Oh, man, I just got unbelievably sleepy and comfy. I think I'm going to go ahead. Save and get off here and have a little nappy poo. See you guys in a bit.